Welcome to Life's Rich Tapestry, a podcast exploring the narrative of people's layered lives. Listen in on courageous conversations spoken from the heart. Gain insight into another's life as we tackle compelling topics which will expand your mind, help you gain perspective, and might even inspire you to do things differently. My name is Evelyn, and I look forward to your company. And welcome to another episode of Life's Rich Tapestry. My next guest, Sal Isakson, has been in the fashion industry for over 25 years. She is currently co-founder and owner of Sal-On, a vintage and pre-loved boutique in Katoomba, having previously owned successful boutiques in Leura and Wentworth Falls, all carried out in her flair of uniqueness. One of her desires is dressing women with thrifted one-off pieces and encouraging sustainable fashion. She also runs workshops and one-on-one consults as a sustainable stylist. So I would like to welcome Sal to the show today. Welcome, Sal.
Hey, Evelyn.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here.
It's so nice to be here.
Okay. Now, I want to start at the beginning. Where did you grow up? Where were you born?
Yeah, so I grew up in the Central West, Cowra, about 3 hours drive from here. In town, we were townies. Some people often think because you grow up in Cowra that you're a, farmer.
Oh, okay.
Or we were on a farm, but we were townies. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And do you have brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have 7 sisters and I have 3 brothers. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. There's 10 of you.
There is 11 of us,
Oh,
including me.
sorry, 7. Math was not my strongest subject.
Yeah,
Okay.
I hear ya.
When did your interest in clothing start?
Yeah, I really loved that question because I feel it's been in me since I was 4 or 5. And I say that because I was building shops in my bedroom with my sisters and neighbours, and it was the best thing to do in my play. Wow. So, yeah, I have such vivid memories of it and, rearranging the counter and hanging bits behind the counter and taking money with our pretend cash register.
Oh.
I know.
And yeah, because I remember as a child, I did that with food though,
Yeah.
So was it actually clothing or what kind of shop was it at that age?
It was all the bits from our bedroom, which was clothes and your bric-a-brac and dolls and, dolls' clothes and.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, I know. It's very strong.
Wow, it is very strong.
Yeah.
Did you look up to someone like for fashion, like a model or actress or anybody like that?
When I did read that question, I thought of the first person who came to my mind was Ginger from Gilligan's Island.
Okay, yes.
I just thought she was so glamorous. I wanted to be her.
Okay.
Yeah, those beautiful long dresses and,
Yeah. So how do you define fashion?
Yeah, how do I define fashion? It's really broad for me and it's very, very personal. But I think fashion is really fun. Mm-hmm. I think it's very individual. I think it's flamboyant and totally over the top. I think it can be understated. I think it can be, a whole lot of things actually.
So when did you think, I want to open up a boutique?
Yeah, I think that was about 25 years ago. I was living in Sydney. I was working after coming back from, long travels overseas, and I wanted to make some money, so I started doing markets at the markets in Sydney, which were the best markets, pre-loved markets. Mm-hmm. So I decided then that was kind of feeling really good. I was making, some cash on the side, and I thought, okay, I might just go and look into studying it. So I started at a fashion college in Glebe. It was called FBI back then, and that kind of opened up a lot of opportunities. I got to do a lot of work experience with Australian Film, Television, Radio School and with magazines. Then I ended up being asked to come back on this magazine, and then I thought, okay, I'd really love to be a freelance stylist.
What do you see in items, or like how do you source your items?
Yeah, so I see a woman first.
Okay.
Before I see so often a woman comes into my mind when I'm shopping.
Okay.
For a piece or for my shop. But I also see the potential of an item, that would look amazing with that, or she would look amazing in that, or I think she'd love that, or, so it's often, actually I often see the woman first.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So when you see the woman, you actually see a person like
you.
Like
if
me.
I was
Okay.
shopping today for stock for my boutique, I'd think, wow, that is Evelyn.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Whether it fitted you or, didn't fit you, I would just see your personality in that piece. I know.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just kind of how I can explain that.
And have you ever liked new fashion or has it always been something that's been pre-loved?
Oh yeah, I've always liked pre-loved. I will just tell you a little story. I was brought up in Cowra and I'm number 10 of 11 children. So we didn't have a lot of money. So my mum would shop at St. Vincent de Paul, Vinnie's as they call it. I felt so much shame around it back then. But we would also shop for our baby dolls that we would dress. So I would get this beautiful collection of baby dolls, which I'd, change their outfits all the time.
Yeah.
I believe that it started really young. I have never felt buying new clothes the same way as I do when I buy pre-loved or vintage or...
So when you buy new clothes, what would the new clothes be?
A pair of jeans.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm sure underwear and all that.
And
as
underwear
well.
and bras.
And socks.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Where do you go to source all of this pre-loved clothing?
So I scout markets. Markets are my fave. I love the buzz there. I love the bargaining and the bartering and the community feel. You never know what you're going to find. So markets are my go-to. I do tend to go to op shops occasionally in Sydney and out west. I travel out west and there are not as many good finds there.
Yeah.
You have to search through a lot. But I buy from women. Mm-hmm. I do car boot sales.
Okay.
Yes, garage sales.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of time.
It would take a lot of time, and you obviously have a good eye. So I think if you go to these places, you have to have a lot of patience as well. Now, how important for those people who are listening out there, because they might, I know you don't want to reveal your secrets, so
yeah, sure.
But for us now, can you define what vintage or sustainable fashion, what that actually is?
Yeah, so when I think about vintage, I think before year 2000. So for me, that's vintage. Look, it means a lot of different things for a lot of people. Vintage can mean the 20s or 40s to some people, but to me it's before 2000. And sustainable fashion, I think it's something that is worn again and again and again.
Yeah.
And that it has a very long lifespan.
So with sustainable fashion, would it be more the type of material, or would it be a brand, or how would you define that?
So what I define as sustainable fashion is reusing. There is a lot of sustainable labels out there now, which is fantastic, and they source their products sustainably. They have very strong ethics around their workers and how that all looks in their factories, and they're very transparent around their work practices. there's sustainable fashion and there's sustainability. So for me, I see myself as a sustainable stylist and boutique owner.
Yeah.
It's all been pre-loved, it's been used, and it'll probably, it comes into my shop. I don't know the story behind it, how many people have owned it. I sell it on, they buy it, they may sell it on again in 6 months or 12 months. So it has this amazing life.
It does. If clothes could talk, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I would love that.
Oh, wow.
I actually said to a woman in the shop on Saturday, she bought a very old dress, and I said, wouldn't you just love to know the story, behind this dress and how many people have worn it and what they've experienced in this dress,
Yeah. No, that's – I never thought about it that way, but it would be really, really cool if clothing could speak, or even if shoes could talk,
Oh, my goodness
God, that would be. So I know you love boots. So why do you love boots? Because you have amazing boots in your shop, or I'm sure there's a huge turnaround. Yeah. But what is your thing with boots?
Oh, what is my thing with boots? That's a good question. I feel really confident in boots. I think they can rock most outfits. Boots, you can get them long, short, high, flat, tasseled, a whole range of things. Yeah. I think for me, I feel really grounded in boots.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It is a feeling. It's a feeling before it's a look.
Now, what do you think are important wardrobe basics?
Jeans.
Jeans, okay. And boots.
And jeans and boots, yeah. Then you really don't need anything else. No. Look, I think some great tees. Okay. Some really basic tees. Uh-huh. And depending on your style, whether that's a V-neck or a round neck, or, a short sleeve or a longer sleeve, I think they're always really good basics. So short sleeve in the summer, longer arms in the winter. Definitely jeans, definitely a pair of boots, great jackets, short jacket, long jacket. And, I'm not a girl who wears dresses, but I'd love to wear more dresses.
Okay.
So I think a couple of really great classic dresses.
Okay.
And put a little fun.
What about color? Do you suggest to clients to get their colors done, or do you know when you see somebody they look good in that color?
Yeah, I can. Why, I don't know, but I can just look at somebody and know that they're not in their right color, or that they're in their true color. I don't know why or where that comes from.
Yeah.
It's just like I look at you in that mustard, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
That elevates everything about your style. But for me then too, it's about, I always will ask them how they feel in it.
Right. So they need that overall feeling of feeling good.
Yes. Yeah.
What about age? Does age sort of change the style of clothes that you should wear, or?
Yeah, it's quite controversial. I have always been a person who thinks outside the square, and I'm a rule breaker, as my mother would tell you if she was alive. So, and I'm a rule breaker in fashion because, again, I always come back to how it feels on you.
Yeah.
How does that feel on you? And I often look at somebody and I can see in their body language that they don't feel right in it, or they feel amazing in it, or they feel confident. So I think rules, if we have rules, you lose all of that.
That's true.
You just lose that being in touch with what's right for you. And, if you're 60 and you want to wear a midriff, how does that feel?
That's
true. We can all have a judgment around that. Well, that looks a bit, whatever. And maybe it does. But if she feels good in that, then,
let her do whatever she wants.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that. So when you help out a client, when a client first comes into your shop, what is the first thing you look at? Do you just look at the shape of her body or her coloring, or what do you look at?
So I look at the whole person, really. and go back from there. I see her and then I think, oh, she's got her right colours on, but her style's not quite right. Like I could
Do a little
tweak
bit of
that a
tweaking.
bit,
Yeah.
you know. Personality is another big thing. Like I could put something on you that just doesn't line up with your personality and you just feel really out of place in what you're wearing. So I think personality does come into that a lot. Like if I often thought, you know, when ballet flats were really big.
Yes, yes.
I could never imagine myself in ballet flats.
Yeah.
I am not a ballet flat personality kind of girl.
Yeah, you're not.
You know, I'm not, you know. So I did try and it just didn't feel right. I had to put my boots back on.
Okay.
It is about personality for me when I'm doing style and colour with a woman.
You have an intuitive sense about you. I've known you for a few years going in and out of your shop, but I felt like whenever I'd ask you a question, even just texting you, you would know exactly, no, Evelyn, you need this or you need this color. Where do you think that comes from? It's just something you feel and you know, or you just...
Yeah, it's I like that question because intuition's hard to talk about because it's not tangible and I've struggled with that because I can't really explain it. It's lived experience. I work with that on a, ask myself deeper questions and, sit with myself a lot. So when I do that, my intuition becomes really strong and it's something I can't not do.
Right, right.
Know?
Yeah.
It's just, I can't not do it. It's like, you know, I tried not to do shops again.
I know, because you've started and
you know, you've watched me, you know, and I couldn't not.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the strong, internal intuition.
Yeah, that's your calling. It's your calling.
It totally is. Yeah.
It's your calling, and also to educate all of the clients who come in about sustainable fashion and how we can rock an outfit that looks horrible, but you put a belt on it and it looks amazing.
Yes.
You know? So you're really good with accessories. What sort of accessories should a woman have in her wardrobe?
Yeah, I always think a great belt, you know, whether it goes around jeans or it goes around a dress or, you know, you want to accentuate your waist, a belt, you cannot go wrong, thin belt and a large belt. Surprisingly, they work on most shapes. People would argue with me with that. That's okay.
That's funny that you say that because I remember I came in and I did buy a dress and you told me to put a belt around. I said, no, Sal, it's not going to work. But it did. You do know.
Yeah.
Intuitively know what works. So,
it's, you have to feel comfortable in that.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know,
course.
like,
yeah.
I mean, I've done wardrobe workouts for women who I've suggested that and it's taken them a long time to drop into that new place of putting a belt on, you know. Oh, no, it makes my boobs look too big. Oh, I don't have a waist. You know, there's all these stories attached to our bodies that we just have to get out of the way kind of thing.
Yeah. I do find you very empowering when you tell people what they should wear and put together. And it's like, it like is, oh my goodness, that's a little bit too tight. Oh my God, I'm showing a bit too much cleavage or my boobs are too big. But it works. You know, and so you see that. You see in women what they don't see about themselves. I think that's your strongest gift.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's really, really good. Now, what do you find has been kind of the most challenging in what you do?
Well, the last couple of years is just staying current with social media.
Yeah.
You know, that is, and you know, all my friends will tell you and my sisters that it's not something that I easily embrace. So I find that challenging, social media. And having shops and keeping it fresh and new and, you know, on trend and just the maintenance of small business I find challenging. Because I'm not a systems person, I work so intuitively and I'm kind of, you know, in that creative world a lot. Yeah. I really struggle with the paperwork,
of course,
the systems, all of that part.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a little, person who does that, or a big person who does that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is one part of owning a business that I struggle with as well. Just, I don't like it. That's why I married an accountant.
Well done you. But it doesn't stop us, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't stop us.
Yeah.
Like,
so with COVID, has that been really challenging for you?
Yeah, not being able to open the shop
Yep.
was very challenging, and just not connecting with other women.
Yeah.
That's been challenging.
Yeah.
But also not being able to get dressed up and go out.
That's right.
I would dress my mannequin in my bedroom. Because you kind of get a little bit I wanted to create. I wanted to create a lot. And
I did another podcast with a stylist in America.
Yeah.
And she was saying that now that we're all coming out of COVID, we're all trying to figure out what our COVID style is, like what sort of style we should be embracing. Do you find that there is sort of a surge in people wanting to rediscover who they are in fashion?
Yeah, well, I definitely think that. And I think because we were sedentary for so long, women have talked about putting on weight, so their bodies are changing because we weren't going out. So your wardrobe became, became less important. Women are stepping out and, they're definitely shopping again. And, they're trying to navigate their new body. And, I think they're asking bigger questions about how do I want to shop now for fashion?
Yeah,
for clothes.
I think so too. It's becoming trendy now. What you do is becoming absolutely trendy.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
I know. Years ago when I first went into your shop in Katoomba, oh my goodness, over 10 years ago. I mean, you were one of the only ones.
Yeah.
Doing what you were doing, consignment and selling pre-loved clothing. But now it seems kind of on trend. And it seems like there's a lot of imposters out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I hadn't looked at it like as imposters, but
I mean, that's not a nice
no,
word,
but I totally get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I'm so not tapped into that world. I started business 25 years ago. There was no Instagram I could look at for styling tips or images or any of that. I was just doing it totally, with intuition of what was in me. But now, you can be doing all of this stuff with Instagram guiding you. There's a lot more to it than that.
There is a lot more to it
for sure.
than that. And it's not something that, because they're one-off fashion, it'd be hard to have a website to sell your items. So it's mainly coming into the shop or looking on Instagram and messaging you that they want that. That would be really confusing, though, because I know you do that. And I think probably other people who are listening who have shops probably do that as well. But how confusing would that be? Like if your shop's open on a Saturday and you put something on Instagram saying this is for sale, would you have to look at Instagram all the time to see if someone's going to buy it? Or is it the person in the shop gets it first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had that sort of complication?
I have, yeah, especially with really beautiful pieces that 4, 5, 6 people want. So that's the thing for me with Instagram. I can be working in the shop and I've been posting for 2 days, so things are up live, and they could have gone on Instagram. Could have had a comment saying, oh, I'd love to have I'll take that. But then somebody's in the shop has just bought it. So, I mean, that's just all juggling act. But that's what I love about having a shop. I would be taken away from my customer in the shop before I would Instagram, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
My customer in the shop on that day is,
is more important.
They're my focus.
They're your focus.
But I'll be juggling both. Yeah. So that's to answer your question.
Yeah. Where do you source your accessories? I know this is probably a secret you don't want to share, but you got all these amazing accessories. I mean, huge bangles and big necklaces, and just they're gorgeous. Are they just also from markets and
Yeah.
Just wherever. Yeah.
I mean, they're out there for everybody to buy.
Yeah.
But it's about knowing what my customer loves, knowing my customer, and putting it together with other similar pieces and display and, having a vision for that piece in my shop, I guess, you know, and to fit into my branding and who I am and who my customer is, basically.
Yeah. So you do also have people come into your shop and they put their clothing on consignment, or you buy their clothing, or how?
Yes.
How does that work?
Yes. We do that as well. What I like to do is to, encourage women to clear out their wardrobes. I think that's so cathartic for a lot of women. And, I'm always happy to buy clothes from them, or if we can trade, which works really well because they love to spend back in the store. And also consignment works really well too. So if they're pieces that are a little bit outside of what I think my customer is and who she is, then I'll take them on consignment and we'll try them that way.
Okay.
Which I think I would like to start doing a little bit more of that because, the customer base is getting broader. And
you're only open a few days a week.
Yeah.
Are you looking to be open more days, or the other days you're off, you source your products? Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're open from Thursday to Sunday. It's enough for now.
Yeah.
After my last business in Wentworth Falls, I decided I never want to be in a shop 7 days a week.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm sticking to that.
Yes.
For now, Thursday to Sunday is really good. I love having 3 days where I'm out of the space. I'm going to look into getting somebody, a staff member in as well. So I'm going to be needing help soon.
Yeah. Because you're so busy. You're so busy.
Yeah.
And I do think you're right. It's the world's woken up and they want to recycle, be sustainable. And you offer all that. And you've been offering that for years.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So I absolutely love that. Now, what about your workshops?
Yeah. I'm in the process of branding everything. This is part of my business that I really love. The challenging part of it is pulling it all together, all the systems, how it's going to work, all the writing. I do run workshops in the space. I love to run them with 2 to 3 women at a time. And why I love that is because there's a lot of magic happens with 3 women.
Okay.
So there's a lot of space in the shop to be able for everybody to have a change room, to to just have some fun. How the day works is it's usually over 3 hours. I ask women to bring 10 pieces from their wardrobe. They bring that in, and then we work with what's in their wardrobe already. Okay. So I help restyle it, tweak it, add some accessories. So again, it's that sustainability thing. Rewear and re-look at your wardrobe, what you already have. And if there's gaps, then we can go shopping in Sal-On. They're just so fun. Women really bounce off one another.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you usually do friends, or do you – I mean, I would see that it would work really well if you knew of 3 clients and you think, oh, they don't really know each other, but I think if I got them in a room, they'd really – do you do that?
Yeah, I have done that.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Plus I have to intuit again if I think those 3 women work together.
Yes.
So that's another part of the process, which is great. Oh, God, help me if I get it wrong.
I'm sure you won't. I'm sure you won't.
I've had mother-daughter inquiries. They want to do it together, which is really lovely. I love that combination. There's a woman I'm just having conversations with at the moment who's a psychologist, and she works with a lot of people with eating disorders. So really wanting to go down that path a little bit, have some of those
I love that.
girls in and, really encouraging that, embracing your body as it is right now. That's and what we can put on your body right now.
That's right. We always think, oh, as soon as I lose 10 pounds or 10 kilos, I'll look so much better and I'll go shopping. But we should just go shopping now and,
Yeah.
And in saying that, with people's sizes a bit bigger because of COVID, I don't know if this is just something that I feel, but I always feel vintage clothing is a bit smaller than normal.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're harder. Bigger sizes are harder to find.
Yeah.
They're definitely harder to find.
Yeah.
Maybe not jackets, but definitely dresses and skirts. So it is a lot of searching and rummaging and,
I can imagine. So you do these one-on-one consults as well. So what does that involve?
Yes, so I call those wardrobe workouts.
Okay.
So I go into women's wardrobes. I step into their wardrobe with them.
Oh, no.
And oh my God, it's so fun. It's so fun. So some women can have a very small wardrobe, other women can have rooms. That's the contrast of my client, whether we work for 2 hours or 5 hours, depending on what they're looking for.
Yeah.
We just go through each piece. Either we try it on or they just no, yep, maybe. We make 3 piles. Yes, no, maybe. And then it just organically unfolds.
Do you do virtual sort of training by any chance? Or have you embraced that space yet?
I have done a couple of Zoom wardrobe workouts.
Okay.
I don't do training. Training as in, what do you mean?
Oh, sorry.
Training.
I that was the wrong word. Just virtual workshops. I meant
Yes.
virtual workshops.
Yes. Yeah. I have done one-on-ones.
Okay. Yeah.
Which was challenging again for me because, I love feeling and touching and being in the presence of that woman because I get a sense of who they are. But I beautifully discovered I can do that over Zoom as well.
Yes. My friend who's a stylist in Washington, D.C., she said the same, that because I said, how could you do a wardrobe workout or, she called it a wardrobe edit. That's what she calls it. And how can you do that over Zoom? But she said, surprisingly, women feel comfortable because they just have to show you where they want to show you. They don't have to show you the rest of the house. So they just go into the closet and she's able to see things as well, like you. So I found that really interesting. And she started young as well. So I think there is something, I think you kind of know what you're good at. Like you shared something earlier because you grew up in such a large family and there was that stigma of going shopping at Vinnie's and you didn't like that. So you made it positive.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing now.
Yeah.
I remember I started going to Vinnie's as well when I moved up to the mountains because I was a little bit low on cash. And then I realized the treasures you can find.
Yes, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And there's not only Vinnie's now. I mean, there's a whole plethora of shops.
I know.
As we know.
It's
trendy.
It's trendy.
Big business.
It is. It's big business as well. And it's not necessarily cheap either.
No. Well, that's why I'm shopping less and less at op shops and high street shops.
What plans do you have for the future or what are you doing now?
Yeah, I'm just working on a project with the Blue Mountain City Council. They're running a sustainability event in Springwood at the Hub. They've tapped me on the shoulder to do the sustainable clothing market side of it. That's evolving as I speak. It's pretty much about women clearing out their wardrobes, coming to, the Hub, an inside event, and setting up a stall and selling their clothes, their accessories, turning it into cash. If you're chosen to have a store, because I'll choose people to have stalls, the first 45 minutes is a big swap between store holders and getting to know you.
When does this happen?
So that's on the 17th of September. I'll be a roaming stylist for the day. It's really fun. I love the concept of it, and I'm so delighted they got in contact with me. There's, other great stuff happening there on the day as well.
Are they going to have a fashion show?
No, they're not.
That would be a good idea.
Look, we're keeping it simple for the first year and hoping it will be an annual thing. So I just think it's got so much potential to turn into something fabulous.
What is your most favorite thing that you absolutely love about what you do?
I want to say connecting with women and clothes.
Yeah.
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 That's I love finding beautiful pieces, but if I just found beautiful pieces and nobody to share them or put them on, then that's kind of empty for me. Yeah. But to find pieces that I can then help or I can, see a woman in and it brings her joy, then
Yes.
that brings me joy. Then I'm successful.
Yeah. Was there any last thing you wanted to say or share?
Yeah, just really appreciate this conversation. That's great. I mean, I work quietly. I've never been on a podcast before.
Yeah.
So I'm cheering on sustainability fashion and, to clear out your wardrobe and get some clarity and keep recycling and
Yes, exactly.
just keep connecting with your body.
Yeah, I love that. Now I'm going to have all of your Instagram page on the show notes if anybody wants to have a look at your shop. And where's your shop again?
It's a little tricky to find because it's down a laneway. It's in Katoomba Street in the Blue Mountains. It's under Chapman Real Estate.
Okay.
Which is halfway down Katoomba Street. We have an A-frame out. We don't have a lot of signage because we started there as a pop-up 3 years ago. So we stayed. And so I'm in the process of doing all the signage and
And you'll continue to stay there then, right? Because it's a lovely space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hidden gem.
It is a hidden gem.
So many
It is a
people have
hidden
said
gem.
recently.
Do you actually mail internationally? With that,
Yes.
would you think about that? Okay.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So if there is anyone listening who loves recycled, sustainable fashion, have a look at Sal's Instagram and you might be able to pick up one of those gems that Sal has sourced herself. So thanks so much for being on the show today, Sal. It's been a true honor.
Thanks so much, Evelyn.
Thank you so much for your company. Please tune in next week to Life's Rich Tapestry, where you will hear another courageous conversation spoken from the heart.